Thank you so much for joining us once again. We are live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The details now. The girlfriend of the 34-year-old gym instructor who was murdered at Tantra Hill some days ago has opened up about the incident in an exclusive interview with JoyNews. The woman we choose to call Ikia said she felt a shadow over the window and drew her boyfriend's attention to it before the three men struggled with him and overpowered him and shot him. She described how she tried effortlessly to stop the bleeding when the gunmen left, but to no avail. We'll listen to her interaction shortly, but first let's take you to the crime scene as reported by Manuel Cranting.
Brand yenimunu ya haya no faka onyaka haya no ba abefaka otika mu kra edi wo calm onyobia.
We know him. He picks his car here. He's a very calm guy. He doesn't even answer calls in the car. I know he's a gym instructor. I never expected this to happen to him.
That's a taxi driver who usually chauffeurs the late Stephen Akowa to and from work. Describing his relationship with the deceased, who was widely known as Don Little. Stephen, 34 years, was a fitness coach who worked and lived at Tantra Hills in Accra. He was shot to death at home Thursday dawn by three armed men for reasons still yet to be known. I have come to his house to find out what happened. As I walked into the house, there was hardly any sign of human presence. And so now I see two sides of the house, two entrances. This one is open. I think I can knock from here, so I'm going to try and knock from here. And a lady came out of the room, but she will only speak to me on condition of anonymity.
I said, "What tutu adieno?" Ana I said, "What the BBS shim na ordinary tono." I dare shim say no, cashim say no. Why any say? Be a TV so. And no face there made him too. It's no me who be that, but me sure say because news.
I was watching from the bathroom. I saw him dismantle the gun and reload it. I've never seen anything like this before. It was a small gun. He stopped the guy and asked how much money he had, and then marched him to the room.
Into carry na marching in the course rono. Into men who should be by my who guidance because we are now Mujina Hasi. Into Mujina Hono, man who
Another tenant, Kwame, gives more details.
Inti later on, and me sister be guy no me opposite they be any time AC. But all this what they did say, I'm not be fear. Mushu to guide you no. Na ye need say I'm robbery. Inti most of the one or two guys EPA ever share what was really actually happening. It's almost see and I'm robbery this year. It's almost sure I'm not going to say like they match them into their rooms. I remove phones, laptop, every TV crowd say no. But sometimes a gym instructor. And I also need you sometimes or qua or bantam. Sometimes I don't need woman in the war. Me to me I was to say he
was in there with a lady.
Sometimes
we all know that she has been coming here. She will normally park her car outside. So when she's here, we know
because of the bar. So
he's been telling us that they are friends.
Manuel Cranting with that report. Let's now listen to Ikia, who's clarified that she's not married and has been divorced for almost 8 years.
I got up and grabbed my cane and toasted. I just saw somebody at the window, peeping inside the window. At that time, what I was thinking is like, since there are boys in there, maybe somebody was just trying to, being a bad boy to see what is going on in the room, So I said, won't you go and check? He didn't answer me. He said, I think that is just a cat because there is some cat here who has been moved. And so I saw a human being. So I took my cane and I was going. He said, please. And he said, where are you going? Go back. And I went to I was standing there by the bed. And I saw him grabbing a kitchen knife. We put everything down, grab a kitchen knife. And so I went on the bed because for me, for my mind, as I said, it's just somebody trying to. And the timing too, it never crossed my mind that an armed robber can be around at that time because it was around 12:31 thereabout. So I heard, the next thing I heard is a key crack. Then at the same time, who is that in Chi? I heard that noise. Then it's like somebody he opened the door. Then somebody at the same time tried to push, and then he pushed back. Then at the same time I heard the gunshot. Then he screaming, they shot me. He said, hey, they shot me, they shot me. Then as he's talking like that with his hand on his chest, they pushed him in with the gun on him. So as I also heard, I also ran through, coming towards him. As I heard his, and they came and meet me with the gun, one on me and one on him, and another person. They pushed me back on the bed. While he was sitting, they had the gun on him with the other hand sitting on the bed. So they say, where are the phone? Where are the phone? And I gave them my phone. They say, where is the second one? I had to look for it in the bed because Little put his own on the bed with the bed sheet has gone on it. So I had to look for it and give it to them. Where is the money? We were not having any money in the house. It's just some money little left on the TV table. That one, I think they have seen it and taken it before. It's like some 100 Ghana with some coins there. So I quickly, since I was scared, I said, please come and check. So I was just throwing everything out of the wardrobe for them to be sure that there's nothing. Threw everything out. Then they were convinced that there's no money. So they left him there and walk out. Then I grabbed this bed sheet and tried to press on the wood for him not to bleed. I was lost. I didn't know. I was screaming for help. Then I don't also want to leave the bed sheet and go and be banging on the door. But at the time I have to just leave it and go and bang at the door. Then they walk back inside with the gun on my head. Will you shut up? Will you shut up? Because maybe they are feeling like I'm going to alert the other people, and they remove the key out of the door. By that time, I was even hearing them in the other rooms. In the other room talking, the same way they were doing, I was hearing them even walking. I heard even they brought somebody to open his car. There was a small car to open. Whose car is it? They were asking somebody, whose car is this? So when I heard that one, I went back to the hall to try to lock the door. And I saw that there is that metal thing that locked the door. So I locked it up there. So at that time, I heard somebody coming to shake the door, but they couldn't open it at that time. So I didn't hear anybody again. Then I was there, still hearing them moving around, doing things, talking, calling even each other. I heard this name, Awuro. Then at the time I was still pressing the thing on him, but since they are there, I didn't know, I can't open the door don't know. So I was with him, and then at the time, that was like about 15 minutes past, getting to 20 minutes, he's suffering. Then I saw that the blood was leaking through his back on the floor. And I noticed it wasn't small. I got panic. And I started screaming again. Then after like about 30 minutes, then he just got up stand up flat once. Then the blood just flew like, when they take water hole, the blood just came out. I got so scared, and then he started hitting everything he drew in his blood. The blood was at that time I got so scared. I ran back to the hall and was knocking at the door, knocking. I wasn't hearing, nobody was coming, the neighbors were not coming. So I thought that for me, they are also scared. They are in the room hearing me. I was so desperate, and I was saying, and I can't help, I can't do anything. And I was, at least let me take him to the hospital.
A really chilling account there by the girlfriend of this man who died a couple of days ago. But let's bring in lecturer and clinical psychologist Aku Hayfron on this particular incident. Good morning. Thank you for your time. Now, you just heard the lady's story. What would be your initial professional reaction or advice to her? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. So I was just finding out from you your initial professional reaction to this particular story, listening to how this woman narrates what she witnessed.
Yes, I would say that she's been through a lot of trauma and therefore she needs some psychological help. And then also, when we talk about psychological help, we're not talking about just counseling, the ordinary counseling as we usually know as Ghanaian, but she needs proper clinical counseling.
And you know, one of the things this woman told my colleague at JoyNews is that she's actually been divorced for 8 years. And she's the victim's girlfriend. This is because there are a lot of stories making the rounds that, you know, the gym instructor probably had a thing to do with somebody's wife. How do you think all the information she's even hearing about the incident and about the possible role she may have played in his demise, how that will also affect her, you know, psychologically?
It would affect her in a lot of ways. In the sense that, first and foremost, she's thinking about the demise of her boyfriend. And then they're confusing her with all these stories. However, what I will suggest is that she needs psychological as well as any other help that she can get. She needs social help. She needs emotional help from her family and friends. Those who really call themselves friends, this is the time they need to show up, to show her some what do you call it? Some reason to trust in them, you know? And then aside from that, you know that when we go through such problems, we go through something called post-traumatic stress disorder. And this is something that she needs a psychologist to help her overcome.
Okay.
Again, she may go through some form of depression at a point in time. And then again, she needs a psychologist to help her go through that.
Okay.
So there are quite a number of things that she would go through. However, if she gets the right kind of support, then she'll be fine in no time.
All right, Doc. So the other thing is that you keep saying she needs psychological help. She needs psychological help in your line of work. When an incident like this is reported to the police, do you have the police directly handing over such persons who were at crime scenes? One that readily comes to mind is the Billion Van attack, and the people who may have witnessed the killing of that police officer who was buried over the weekend. Does the police do that? Do they hand over witnesses of such incidents to you, or the people have to seek private professional help?
Unfortunately, they don't. And therefore, these people need to seek private help. Other than that,
which is quite expensive, isn't it? Hello?
Pardon?
Yes, I was saying,
yes.
Which is quite expensive, isn't it? If someone decides that...
No, not at all, not at all. It's not that expensive.
Okay.
It is not that expensive. that is the notion we have as Ghanaians, that psychological help is expensive and therefore we don't seek it. But in not seeking it, you end up having more pain than help. Okay. So I would suggest that rather than sit home and think that if I may go to this psychologist or that psychologist, I would be paying so much. And my dear, don't we go to the hospitals when we are ill? Don't we pay for our services? So why can't we go to a psychologist when we have a problem?
Now, you are a member of the Ghana Psychological Association, and is there any official collaboration in providing these services to such victims?
Yes, I think there is. I am not very sure, but I think there is. We have the authorities have had certain collaborations with such people over the years. And I believe that is still continuing, and therefore we need to always seek psychological help. Look, it is better safe than sorry. It is better safe than sorry.
And so if anybody is watching us and they think that they need psychological help anywhere in this country, because we are even worldwide, what can they do specific to Ghana? I mean, I'm in the house right now and I think, look, I need psychological help. I may have witnessed something like this. I may be worried about something else. How do I access it?
Well, okay, you can go to either the GPA office, which is at the Ministry of Nursing, Midwifery and Nursing, somewhere at Makola.
Okay.
Or you can always look up First 7. You can go to the major hospitals where they will definitely find clinical psychologists. That aside, everywhere in this country, there is a clinical psychologist. And if you do your necessary searches, you come across us. We are everywhere. And therefore, there's no reason for you to say that you searched and you didn't find.
That's very heartwarming to know. Dr. Aku Efron is a clinical psychologist. Thank you so much for your time here this morning. And she's been given some professional advice, and it's on the backdrop of that story of the murdered gym instructor whose girlfriend has been speaking to my colleague Martha Krenzel Akwa. She joins us via Zoom with more information from the police. Hello, Martha. Great to have you here. What's the police saying about this incident?
Thank you, Benes. Good morning. And so the police, informally, when I spoke to the police, they tell me they would like us to focus on what the issues are. For instance, there is a murder being investigated. Okay. It's not about whether a woman was married or was not married. Now it's established that the woman was not married. Okay. And nobody has come forth anyway to the police to claim that the woman is his wife or otherwise. And so the focus is now on getting the people, the 3 men that the woman said she saw, who may have carried out this heinous crime, to answer. Now, the woman didn't look at anybody's face because, you know, it's advised that when people like that come to your house, it's better you don't keep eye contact, because when they get the feeling that you are looking at them so well so you can describe them, they may take you out. So it's better for you to keep your eyes low. And that is what she did all along. She listened to everything they said. She actually heard a name. She's not sure whether it's a name of any of them, Awuru. Throughout the conversation, she overheard them mention Awuru. So we don't know whether Awuru is one of them or it's a code name they came up with in this operation. Now, I was listening into what Aku was saying, Aku heard from. And yesterday, in my encounter with a woman, I came back very sad because she's not speaking much. She's bottling everything inside and she's not eating. And for the first time, I think yesterday, she was able to drive her car. She can't drive. So in the evening, I tried to check on her and she can't sleep. She says when darkness starts falling, she feels like this whole thing is going to happen all over again because it happened at night. So she's actually afraid, but she's keeping it all to herself. She's not gotten any professional help yet. We are trying to get her help so that she can at least speak with a professional and then share what she's feeling and get counseling accordingly so she can recover. And when she is speaking, you can feel the pain of reliving, seeing a loved one being killed in front of you. And you know, when she describes how the blood started oozing out, initially she thought she was stopping the blood from coming out with the bed sheet. But at some point, she said she had to let go when she saw a pool of blood drain from behind her. It's like, where is this coming from? The same blood I'm trying to stop. So the victim, deceased, actually got up in a manner she didn't expect and started turning around and screaming, Jesus save me, Jesus save me. And the blood was just oozing out. She described it as opening a water hose. The way the blood pumps, that's how the blood was pumping out. And after he had turned for a while, he went down and the struggle ended. And so she just coiled herself into the corner because she wasn't sure whether touching him again will mean he will get up again. So she just thought, okay, he's passed out. Maybe he's in coma. Maybe when someone takes him to the hospital, he will be fine. So when you heard the voice of the police officers and they came in and they asked, are you okay? He said, I am not okay. Somebody is dying in front of me and asking me if I am not okay, out of frustration. Because for the 45 minutes that the whole drama unfolded, she was hoping they would allow her to even take him to the hospital and get him help. But that didn't happen.
Really graphic story there, Martha. And I think you may also need some psychological help and in doing this story because sometimes as journalists we feed off the emotions of the people we talk to. But thank you so much for bringing this story and also working to get help for this woman who is dismissing the rumors that she's married. She's been divorced for 8 years and was the girlfriend of this gym instructor who has been murdered. If you're watching us and you need help, don't forget to get to any major hospital in your locality and receive psychological help if you've been affected by a similar incident or any other. To some other stories now, the Ghana Employers Association is urging business owners to apply protocols and guidelines outlined by the Ghana Health Service in a strict manner. The association in a statement also prescribed other guidelines for business owners. My colleague Chrissy Parker-Wilson joins us with more from that statement from the association. So Parker, run us through the guidelines that the association is recommending for businesses in these times.
No, so Bernice, if you can hear me, essentially they have about 8 of them. The first one, according to the chief executive officer of the association, is for businesses to provide adequate facilities, i.e. soap, hand sanitizer, and reminders as well, and also encourage workers, contractors, and customers to practice workplace hygiene. And it goes on to say that the business owners must create the enabling environment for physical distancing at the workplaces through demarcated intervals of at least 1 meter intervals. The third point they make is that they need to consider the introduction of proper shift systems for employees and allow those who can work from home to do so without compromising standards and productivity, where the nature of the business operations permit. So this is very important that if you have to work from home, you should do so. Now, another important point, Bernice, is that they are asking the business owners to reduce physical meetings and events because there is a risk that people attending the meeting might expose others to the COVID-19 virus. And again, they're asking them to fumigate and disinfect the workplace regularly. A schedule for the fumigation and disinfection should be pasted on notice boards for the information of workers. And finally, also direct workers to stay at home, as I mentioned earlier, and change workplace culture. That is handshake, workers taking lunch at own desk or outside. Workers taking lunch at own desk or outside rather than in the cafeteria or break rooms. Let me share food in the workplace. So these are some of the things that they are talking about, strict guidelines, and they're asking the business owners to follow them. They fear that non-adherence to some of these guidelines may trigger us into a possible lockdown if the situation is not kept. So that is their own contribution towards containing the spread of COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you, Kwesi Parker-Wilson, my colleague, with details of a statement released by the Ghana Employers Association urging businesses to strictly adhere to protocols. They also provide some guidelines that you just heard Parker share with us. Do stay safe and remember to always mask up. Now, in September 2019, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia promised to upgrade the old Fadama slum. He told the people, quote, Nana Akufo-Addo says, I should tell you that the services we give to the people of East Legon, we should give the same services to the people of Agbogbloshie, end quote. 22 months later, the people are appealing to the Vice President to honor his promise. Jojo Kobina has more in the following story.
Say, the services are Yedima East Legon. Let us give the same services to Agbogbloshie.
Crowd hyped on adrenaline and fighting for space just to catch a glimpse of the Vice President chant and scream their lungs out. The Vice President, who knows how to charm the crowd, again feeds on their energy and added,
the lives of the people of Agbogbloshie matter as much as the lives of the people of East Legon.
The Vice President, who knows how to charm the crowd, again feeds on their energy and added,
the lives of the people of Agbogbloshie matter as much as the lives of the people of East Legon or cantonments. Yeba to solve problems.
Kampa wants it, right? Kampa wants it. Kampa on yet.
Old Fadama is expanding rapidly, almost bursting at its seams, and a major threat to the existence of the Korle Lagoon. It has over 120,000 residents squeezed on less than half a square mile. This community used to be a yam market and also a host to a small population of Ghanaians fleeing ethnic conflict. Now it is sprawling urban slum, hungry for basic infrastructure. The town, located at the center of Accra, is a congregation of kiosk, wooden structures and corrugated roofing sheets. In here are Accra's urban poor and ambitious young people who have traveled from across the country, brimming with hope to make a living and lift themselves and their family out of poverty. They come eager to make it in life, but only to realize that the grass isn't always greener in Accra.
If you have a there, Sorpon, Baba Subra, boy. And China, she will. It was more than Papa, one join out in Anna Libre.
She lived as a squatter in cantonment, but she was evicted. Her cheapest option was to choose Old Fadama.
Near our cantonment, but my basket to Wubuhono. Nti o ma 2 million do bia ntu kapa baby. Nti no mo ska no nso hwe. Nti me me nana na me ba no. Na o ye 1 week bampo. Afa da we na o ye 1 week. Nti enye baby nda be da gogoshugom. That time so wo wom. No be chen da dan bi wa ha. Na ye de ba ha ma. Ye ba tell say week ba 300. O mpo enye bi ntua. Ye da mbo sumbo muntu. Ana 18 fa da mutua muntu.
Paying 120 cedis a month for a tiny space is too expensive for her, so she has invited others like her to share the space and cost. The accommodation does not come with a toilet facility, bathroom or kitchen, just a tiny room with a door. Ramatu's next option is to relocate to her hometown. But before that, she wants to make some money. Many are caught up in this trap. They hope for better days, which takes almost forever. Many urban migrants have no choice but to cram in very little spaces at night. The air in this room is stale, and many have to share the stale air, and that includes children.
This is the first government that is coming out with a development program for this community.
Daniel Atta came from a village in the Upper West region, pregnant with high hopes of becoming a police officer. But that dream could not materialize. Going back to Wa was not part of his plans. He slept in the open for a year, selling yam in traffic, until he finally saved enough to get accommodation. He pays 50 cedis weekly rent for a small area in this wooden story building. Here too, there's no bathroom.
You know, when I came here first, I did not know where to sleep. So the best place I could sleep is outside, just by the roadside.
Daniel is not your ordinary slum dweller. He follows the news religiously and has some very sharp views.
Last 4 years, really, I don't see any development. But I can talk of, you know, the road line just behind here. Yeah, that road it used to be terrible. For the past years, 2-3 years, I have seen that road has been tight.
He wants political leaders to be sensitive to their needs.
This community need a lot of things. They don't have school here. They don't have school here. The accommodation problem here is very terrible. Water they drink here is not the best.
The population in the slum is increasing daily. Slumlords divide rooms into smaller units to meet the ever-increasing demands on rural urban migrants. There is no regulation. In this community, many tenants are merely trying to find a place to lay their heads, so they do not complain about the quality of houses and basic facilities.
They said when they come to power, the KIAs and we Wazala boys, they will let us get work, then they will do Zongo development. They didn't do it.
That was Eric Badan, a resident who relocated from Pasa in the Oti region 6 years ago. He observed that his community had not changed significantly because politicians never keep their word.
Oh, since he came here, nothing no change. Nothing no change. We are living the same thing. You know, the politicians, they are come all the time to lie us. They will just come, they need power. So when he lie to you, you give them power. They avoid you. Later, they come to beg you, we are begging you, and to give you another year, I will change here. After that, you will not do anything. So they are not doing anything for us. They just think only about themselves. They are not thinking about we. That's after Baumia come, only one thing, do only Bob. Only street Bob, they brought it here. Only that street Bob.
Corners of the slum echo sentiments that government must do more. The stench of poverty and deprivation here is as intense as the spontaneous cheers and promises of politicians evoked 4 years ago. Not much has changed. Jojo Kopner, Joy News.
Meanwhile, the Chief Executive of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Mohammed J. Soa, has assured the Vice President's promise to upgrade the slum of Agbogbloshie is on course. He blamed COVID-19 for disrupting the implementation of the initiative, but added plans have been approved for the construction of amenities to begin.
The Accra Metropolitan Assembly was also tasked to look at the reconstruction of the community office, the construction of the hostel for the Kayaye, and then the construction of the market for the plantain sellers, which is on the opposite side of the old Fadaman settlement. The provision of washrooms and toilet facilities, it's under the purview of the Ministry of Sanitation. That is the comprehensive plan that we're doing. Unfortunately, we were struck by COVID in 2020. So with all the effort which was put in, 2020 was a year that no action was taken because of COVID. We were in lockdown and all kinds of activities that we could not do. This year is a year of action for those facilities to be provided in that area. We've been meeting them, the Old Fadaman Development Association, which comprises of 21 tribal chiefs. It also comprises of the representatives of both main political parties, the MPP and NDC. It's their own association that they have that will work with them in that community. And they've not been kept in the dark. They've been kept in the know at every step on their way. Just about last week, we met them. And then we gave them a briefing as to where we have gotten to. So with the leadership of the Old Fadama, they are fully aware of the steps that we are taking, and they know that the project implementation was delayed largely because of COVID. Well, in the next couple of months, I would say, because now the funding arrangement is being tightened, because we were supposed to prepare the ground. We're also supposed to do the architectural design and then the bill of quantities, which have been done, and then we did it in consultation with the community leadership as well. So that has been done. Funding arrangement is being tightened up now, and I've been assured, partly from the Vice President office and then my office, to be able to fund that particular project.
Away from Accra, the Bono East Regional Minister, Kwesi Adujan, has called for total adherence to COVID-19 safety protocols. He says it's the surest way of minimizing the increasing number of cases recorded across the region. He adds the Regional Coordinating Council, together with the Regional Security Council, is introducing new measures that would enforce the strict adherence to prescribed protocols. There's more in the following report by Anas Sabit.
With the increasing number of COVID-19 cases across the country, authorities in the Bono East region are calling for the total adherence to the prescribed COVID-19 protocols capable of helping minimize the spread of the disease. The region, which had only 6 active COVID-19 cases as of June this year, currently have a total of 77 cases, an indication that over 70 new cases were recorded in the past 2 weeks. Bono East Regional Minister Mr. Kwesi Adujan says the increase in cases should be a concern to the people of the country as a whole.
The Delta variant of COVID-19 is rising. From data from our statistics, we made to understand that just last month we had fewer cases. Just last month, June, we had very few cases. But currently, as I'm speaking to you, it has increased more than 100%. So this must be a concern to everybody living not only in the Bono East region but in Ghana as a whole.
However, called for a strict adherence to the protocols and asked that the RCC, together with the Regional Security Council, would work towards ensuring that there is strict adherence to the safety protocols as advised by health authorities.
We want to get to our people that it is essential, it is very critical that we observe the COVID-19 safety protocols, our hand washing, hygiene, our nose masking. We should observe this, social distancing.
You're watching News Desk with me, Bernice Abubedu-Lansa. Coming up shortly in business, technical advisor to the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau, Mohammed Sani Adams, says investors are more likely to visit Ghana if their safety is assured. Daryl Kwao has the details, I beg your pardon, coming up shortly. Do stay.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao, technical advisor to the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau. Mohammed Sani Adams says investors are more likely to visit Ghana if their safety is assured. Speaking to Joy Business at a 5-day training program for investigators and staff of the Bureau, Mr. Adams said the training is a step to ensuring the safety of passengers and garner more investments in the long run.
Higher level of business transaction between countries is done by air flights. And so the business people, the investors have more confidence to travel if they are sure of their safety in the country. And indeed, the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation Bureau provides that kind of support to ensure that there is safety in the country, there is safety in our airwaves, there is safety in our aircraft. Okay, so once this is established, then investors will have confidence, businesses will have confidence to, do the interflow to ensure that, they do their businesses. So it is a booster to, if you want, encouraging business persons that yes, Ghana is a safe place, and Ghana is a place to transact, and you may not have any problem in terms of aircraft or aviation issues. Indeed, because His Excellency the President also wants to ensure that this bureau is not only waiting for accidents and incidents. Indeed, we don't even want the accidents to occur in the first place.
Now, Credit More, a subsidiary of the Teachers Fund, has launched an online platform for teachers to acquire items such as home appliances and pay over a period of 24 months. Speaking to Joy Business, Chairman of the Restructuring Committee of Credit More, Dr. Kweku Enusin, said this has become necessary to help the fund in delivering efficient and quality service to teachers.
I mean, this is a company that has been in existence for a while, okay? And what we are doing today is a relaunch of the company to make the company, a lot more effective, a lot more efficient in the delivery of services to teachers. I mean, as the name, suggests, this is a business that allows, members of the Ghana National Association of Teachers to buy your everyday items, your fast moving consumables, electronic items, fridges and what have you. Have these items at their homes as and when they need it, and then have the opportunity, to pay later. Now, one other thing that we've done, with this company is to make it possible for, the members of the Ghana National Association of Teachers to sit in the comfort of their homes and either with an Android phone or with an iOS or just with their laptops, be able to go, online, select any item that they so, please, and then, pay that item, later. Now, if for any reason, any member says that, I am not interested in using an Android phone, or I don't have an Android phone, or I do not have, a laptop, there's a number that is linked to a call center. And once that member calls that call center, there will be somebody that will assist, that member to be able to purchase any item of his or her choice. Well, I think for the teacher population, out there, for our distinguished NAT members, this is a company that has been restructured and rebranded, for you. And we invite you to do business with a new Credit More. You will find it very effective and efficient, and you'll be able to have any item, of your choice. And once you select the item that you want, the item will also be delivered, to your doorstep if that is what you want. Your advantage as a member of NAT is that once you buy these items, you have the flexibility, to pay it over a period of time. So you pay it over a 24-month period. So you have a maximum of 24 months to be able to pay for the item that you select.
That's business for now. Sports is coming up next.
Thank you for staying so much here on News Desk. It's now time to talk sports, and I've got Muftau here with me. Let's talk about the Olympics, because there's been a major upset for Naomi Osaka, who I can imagine this is happening in her home, Tokyo. And this is...
She lighted the torch for the game.
Yes!
So the expectations were huge on her.
What happened?
Well, she came up against a 43rd seed, Maketa Vendrososa, and unfortunately, she couldn't
Did you say 43rd?
43rd, yes.
Wow, that's a big blow.
But she isn't the big name. She's the first big name to lose out. Two have already gone.
Yeah.
Batty is gone. She actually even lost to someone who was also 32nd seeded. And at this point, you're looking at the tennis division and you're going like, come on.
It's happening.
Will the organizers of these Olympic Games make the money they are looking for? Because all the big names are exiting very early in the competition.
Yeah.
But Nami's own was a bit surprising because she lost the two sets, 4-1, 6-1, 6-4.
You know what? Before you continue, she didn't play in the last game.
Yes, because she had issues.
Was it the French Open?
Yeah, the French Open. Wimbledon Open. Where she had issues about depression.
And then the interview.
Speak to the media and all that.
So could it be that she's been out in terms of playing competitively for some time, considering or in comparison to her colleagues who may have played at Wimbledon? Could that have affected her performance?
I don't think it affected her performance, because if you have a lot of time outside the court, you're able to actually prepare. Rest. Because you had actually talked about how you wanted to take a break and freshen up and get back into the court. But unfortunately, she came back on the wrong note in her country before her very own people.
Yeah. Or was the home pressure too much?
No.
Because Naomi is usually a performer. This is the very early stage.
Well, you're looking at a girl who has shot sky high early into her career. So oftentimes you would expect that pressure to get to her. But pressure would only get to her if the people around her don't do their job so well.
Too bad for Naomi Osaka. I'm sure she really wanted to win this and put it on record that during the Tokyo Olympics, a Japanese won the tennis
gold
medal there, but unfortunately couldn't be so. But thank you so much, Muftau. Do log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. Also, the sports page will give you more sports stories. I am Bernice Abubedulansa. I really appreciate your company. Up next is JoyNews Interactive. Do stay.